Entropy is constantly pressing on the universe. It is always trying to degrade everything. And it doesn't just exist in matter, it exists in religion, civilization, any system. The only way to fight it is with maintenance and growth. And the only way that you can get anything enjoyable out of this is to do what complies with your nature. The feeling of joy, what a lot of people don't realize, Carl Jung realized it, is that joy is attached to the devil. And when I mean the devil, I don't mean some mystical being that has horns and a tail and hooves. I mean that it's attached to selfishness. It's attached to doing things you're not supposed to do. It's attached to going against things that society says you shouldn't do. We talk about all the time about how all the past conquerors of the world, about how they're great men. And then we turn around and say, yeah, they were great men, but they also did evil things. So they were evil people. But that's only because all the conquerors that we talk about that are great, none of their civilizations are around anymore. There's this constant battle of wills between two types of men in the world. And I would argue that there shouldn't be two types of men. There should be one type of man. There are men that crush just for the sake of crushing because they love to crush. And there are men that build and protect because they understand that there needs to be framework and structures in place to build greater things. This goes back to the art thing I was mentioning earlier. Your art is up to you. You can absolutely choose to just chill. But do it because you want to chill. Don't do it because you think you don't have the ability to do anything better. You do. And the answer's in you somewhere if you'll just face the dark parts of you. Going back to my 20s, not only did all those things happen to me, but I also almost died 3 different times in my life. I fell into a lock in a river, and I was almost crushed by a barge. It was really rainy. I had a 150-foot locking line on my shoulder. You couldn't see 5 foot in front of you. And we were tying the barge up to lock. I walked out onto the barge, and the barge was damaged, had dents all in the side of it, and it was slippery, very slippery. The grip was just completely gone off this barge. It'd been abused. It really needed resurfacing. But the thing about industry is that, especially the towboating industry, a lot of times things just get pushed for the sake of production. I guess that's true with a lot of industries. But anyway, I was walking and I saw the dent, and I went to step around it. But when I went to step around it, I lost my footing and I fell. And luckily, I had sense enough to drop the line, and I had a life vest on. I hit the water, and there was a cavil, the thing you tie the barge off with. You take the line, you wrap it around a cavil, you wrap it around the timber head on the lock, and that's how you tie the barge off. But I seen the cavil, and the first thing I did was, I'm getting out of this lock no matter what it takes. So I grabbed the cavil and I broke every fingernail off of my fingers. Just all this was raw meat. I just pulled. And I got back on the barge just in the nick of time, because the barge clicked against the wall. I would have been smashed, completely turned into a pulp. The other two times were my own stupidity. I've had guns pointed at me twice in my life. I was messing with a girl I shouldn't have been messing with, and she had a boyfriend. And basically, what it wraps up to is, I told the boyfriend, who was beating the bejesus out of the girl, to my knowledge, that's what I had been told, that I was going to take her from him and there was nothing he could do about it. So with this knowledge, I get in my car after we are all at this big poo hall, and he tries to run me off the road. But the type of person I was back then, I goaded him on. I stuck my head out the window, said, "What are you doing? You can't do this." Called him a dumbass. I'm swerving my car every time he swerves his giant F-250 into my car. Hitting the brakes so he jumps in the other lane, that type of stuff. Eventually he gets tired of it and he drives off. And I go get a pack of cigarettes. But now I want to go look for it. So I had a 380 in my car, and I could have shot it while he was trying to run me off the road. But I didn't want to shoot somebody, especially over no girl. I seen him in an empty parking lot in front of a mall. Saw his truck, rather. And so I pulled up beside him. And I told him from outside the truck that I would leave my gun in my car. He basically asserted that if I was to come near the truck, he would shoot me. But I didn't have anything to live for at the time anyway. That's what he didn't know. So I'm talking to him, and he unlocks his truck. And when he unlocks his truck, the barrel is right here. I talked my way out of that one. I basically told him that killing me would just ruin his life. That's all it would do. It wouldn't make him feel any better. It wouldn't make this girl love him any stronger. And really, what this was is jealousy because he thought I had a connection with this girl that he did not have. Which may or may not have been true. I had previously dated this girl before. But as I said, I talked my way out of that. The third time, I had a bag full of a controlled substance that I thought was real, that was given to me by someone whom I trusted. And I went to go and make this sell. I get in this dude's car. We drive to the location. We go in the back of this business. And his homeboy comes out. He takes said controlled substance out of the bag, crushes it up, snorts it. He then goes on to say that they're not real. And then the gun comes out. Now, the difference between the time before and this time is that I was dealing with someone the first time who was just being stupid. The second time I was dealing with an actual businessman. But the situation was the same in that I didn't have anything to live for. So in my mind, I had really just accepted my fate. And I told myself, if he gets any closer, I'll take this gun from him. He didn't give me a chance to talk. He didn't want to hear anything I had to say. And then all of a sudden, he puts the gun down and he tells the dude to go and take me wherever he got me from. And me, being stuck to whatever code I was living by back then, I wasn't going to tell on this dude. I wasn't going to come back and try to get revenge for him pointing a gun in my face. If I seen him today, I wouldn't even be able to point him out of a crowd of people. I tell you all that. What's funny about all three of those situations is that I wasn't scared during. I've always heard of people saying that, time stands still and their life flashed before their eyes. And all this poetic waxing. And time definitely is not the same when this is going on. But it's only that way because you're facing the moment of truth. And the moment of truth is present at all times in your life. You just don't notice it until the spear is put to your throat. After every one of these situations happened, I sat by myself and thought to myself, I almost fucking died. And I was terrified then. All that to say, the only thing that matters is now. What you were doesn't matter. What you will be doesn't matter. The only thing is, what do you choose now? If there's anything that's ever almost flattened you, drop it in the comments. We'll talk about it. Peace.